welcome back to another episode of Heels Up. I am Vlad St. Valentine, and with me, as always, Mr. Reggie Lincoln and the indomitable Caden Ramos.
Oh yeah. How you doing today, Mike?
Oh, you know, sauced and saucy.
All right. That's how I like it.
So, tonight was Raw, and we had Shane O'Mac promising to bring us some interesting crap, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But we start off with...
Oh, yeah. We start off with Apollo Crews versus MVP for the United States Championship. You know, the current U.S. champion versus the real U.S. champion. You know, because that's MVP, man.
Anyway, it was finally the match to decide who was actually champion, which seemed a weird night to do it on Raw, you know, but... Again, we've gone over how it's odd when they're blowing some of these things off, you know. So,
yeah. But the thing about it, tonight we had some technical difficulties on the show. Like again, I mean, we had Glitch Mania on SmackDown. Now we have electricity going on and off, mics cutting on and off. You know, just everything.
I think after the poor glitchiness from Friday Night SmackDown, they decided they would just work it to an angle. So it goes on throughout the whole night. They're having technical issues and stuff like that. And it doesn't really play much into what goes on. I guess we'll find out what's going on with that later. It does build through the night. At one point in time, they show some guys, you know, throwing Molotov cocktails. And I guess it was like a power, some fucking
something like that.
Power station for the building or something. I don't know. The point is, like, they're building to something. We'll see how it goes. Not terribly uninteresting. But as it relates to the storyline, it's more MVP complaining about it throughout the night. And
it's an unsafe work environment. That's what he's complaining about, which he has the right to complain. He could be doing a big move and the lights go off. He won't see it. We don't know what's going to happen.
And the reason why he was complaining so much throughout the night is because he lost this match to Apollo Crews.
Which he shouldn't have lost. Because if the electricity was right, if everything was in good condition, MVP would have won this match.
Well, that's one opinion. And certainly it's MVP's. And he expressed it thoroughly throughout the night ad nauseum. But Apollo wins. He takes both the titles, walks up the ramp, holding them both up. And backstage, you know, he thanks MVP for his new belt. It looks really nice. You know?
Oh, yeah. He said he's going to take the old one and hang it with his kids. Well, hang it in his kids' room. Sorry.
Every time you bring the kids into it, it's a cheap way of suckering our heartstrings. So I'm just,
they're really trying with them. They really are.
Yeah. You know, but, you know, having him on TV more often would help with it. Not just telling us, you know, he's great or having MVP mouth off, because all this does is make MVP look better and better every week and make us want, like you said, MVP. You're the one saying that you want MVP to be the champion, not Apollo Crews. I mean,
of course. Why not?
MVP's out there, you know, on that mic, you know.
It's one of the greatest United States champions of all time.
Making that money all the time. All right. So after this, we get BS Joan backstage, Bayley and Sasha.
Yeah.
Which I tuned out until Shayna Baszler showed up and popped Sasha in the mouth.
Power right in the kisser.
Power right in the kisser. So they're going to have a match later on, which I look forward to. But I guess they had to do something else with Baszler since they're going to get rid of Nia Jax for a little while.
Yeah,
for whatever reason. Which is weird because they were kind of building the Nia Jax Baszler thing. So I guess Nia got hurt or...
She went out of control.
Well, I mean, like in real life, there had to be some reason that they're like just abandoning this thing.
She probably got exposed. 14-day quarantine.
Up next, we had the KO show where his guest was Ruby Riott, and he let her jaw a little bit, and then he brought out Liv Morgan, where he let them reconcile a bit, you know, until, of course, the Iconics, until they came out, you know. I'm glad they did. I'm glad they interrupted that moment because I was about to start crying. Not even gonna lie. You know I'm a little sensitive.
Yeah, man, you were tearing up like I do when I watch Old Yeller.
Oh, man.
And Showgirls.
Yeah.
All right.
So this leads to a match between the Iconics and the Riot Squad, the reunited Riot Squad.
Yes, it wasn't much of a match. It was mostly Ruby in distress. She gets a hot tag to Liv, and Liv wins with a roll-up. And that was pretty much all.
You're not going to have a WWE show these days without a roll-up victory.
So Liv wins with a roll-up, and then her and Ruby hit a double-team finisher, I guess, on Billy to finish the match. Or not to finish the match, just as an exclamation point after the match, excuse me.
And so we got the Riot Squad is back.
Yep.
Yes. I'm with that.
All right. So after this, we get Charlie Caruso backstage and she's reporting on the technical issues and some boxes fell over and she's like, look at all the debris from the boxes. I'm like, real fucking impressive, y'all. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's some great staging there. But whatever. MVP comes up, interrupts and complains about the working conditions. And he's like, you report about boxes? I lost my title because of these damn issues. You guys can't keep crap together, yada, yada, yada. And then Shelton Benjamin walks up and says someone stole his 24-hour title. And, you know, it was good. It kept the overall story of the night moving on. But up next, we get probably one of the best promos of the night and one of the best confrontations of the evening. Drew McIntyre's out, and he is as intense as ever, man.
Oh, yeah. He shot straight with Randy.
Yeah, this was one of those, it didn't feel quite like a shoot, but it felt close enough. It felt like they scripted it out a little bit. It's like, let's get a little personal and make it feel as real as we can without crossing that line into a real shoot, you know? But it's pretty good. He basically called Randy spoiled, and, you know, Randy came out.
And selfish and all that stuff.
Randy came out with Ric Flair, you know, and, you know, jawed back a little bit. And he asked Drew, he's like, you know, give me one damn opinion that's your own, not something somebody else has said about me. You know, what, you can't do it. Tell me what you really think. And Drew's like, you know.
And Drew gave it to him.
He's like, you know, you claim to have appreciated all these legends who brought you up, but you never brought anybody else up. You've never been a leader. You know, you've only been selfish. You've only ever taken from anyone. You've taken all this knowledge and all this information that all these legends have given you and trying to make you better. And you've never passed it on to anyone else. You never grabbed, you know, a KO or an Ali and tell them, you know, he's like, you're a selfish prick. And I'm like, cheers. Cheers to Drew.
So next up, we go into Rick and KO backstage. Ric Flair decides to interrupt Kevin Owens while he was talking to Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, you know, about how all the stuff he's done, all the crappy things he's done, and he's regret some of that. He was interrupted by Rick. Rick was just telling him, hey, it's better to mind your own business. Maybe you can get to success like that. Don't worry about everybody else.
KO takes exception to Rick's advice, you know, being Rick is basically telling KO to be selfish, and KO's like, you know, I've lost a lot of friends and I've messed up a lot of stuff. And I think this is kind of as a little bit of apology to her for some of the trouble he's in right now.
Oh, yeah.
So
we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get that later.
Yeah.
Maybe this Friday we'll talk about it a little bit. We got some more time. But KO basically tells Rick, you know, if you're so worried about my career, you can see what kind of fight I have in me. Tell your protege be ready for me next week. So KO challenges Randy Orton to a match next week, which KO will inevitably lose because Randy Orton's on a trajectory right now. We know how it goes. And it's unfortunate to have to watch KO lose because I'm just really enjoying KO right now.
Maybe it's that time, you know.
But where the hell was he last week when, you know, Aleister Black was getting blinded, you know? Like...
What was him and Humberto Carrillo?
Get cohesive on this whole we don't like Seth thing, man. KO just kind of comes and goes to this storyline as it pleases the writers, and it's that writing ADD or dyslexia they have where they just forget which pieces go where, and they just.
Dude, they're in Florida. It's the quarantine rotation.
Oh, is that what it is? I didn't know that's what they had going on.
Okay, that makes sense.
Quarantine rotation. Sense. I didn't know that's what it was. All right. After this night, Jax is out and she's supposed to apologize to the official she beat up last week. His name is Pat something.
Pat Buck.
Who's he?
He's a WWE official.
I know, but like she said he was a failed wrestler, and he looks buff enough. I figured that's what he was. He was probably a wrestler, didn't make it, got into the officiating thing or got into the official side of that stuff.
Pat Buck, who is he?
We'll figure that out in a second. But instead of apologizing, she challenges him to a match. He refuses and suspends her indefinitely without pay. So she smacks him around a little bit and leaves.
She gives him this headbutt, and it's like her whole face went on his shirt.
Well, whatever it was he used to do, if he was a wrestler, he obviously cannot bump anymore because he's not taking fuck all as far as moves go. Like he'll take a punch and fall down and then get kind of kicked out of the ring. You know, like you expected her to like Samoan drop him or something, you know, but nothing.
Did you see her makeup on his shirt?
Oh no, did it like just come off like a...
Yes, her whole face was on his shirt. Now that is funny. If you can find a picture of that, please post it.
Close your eyes, Marge. And now you're ready for a night on the town.
Homer, you've got it set on whore.
Buck was a jobber around 2009.
and then went to FCW to be a ref.
Okay. So he never made it. He probably got injured and went down to the referee thing. But, at least he's got a job and he's making it. So good for him.
Yep.
Well, he wrestled in minor leagues, but Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Developmentals.
Yeah.
So next up, we go into the 24/7 championship triple threat match between Akil Tozawa, Shelton Benjamin, and R-Truth, which R-Truth is running around with the 24/7 title, so we knew where that went.
I don't think it counts if you steal it there, Truth, Bubba.
I don't know. Let's ask Sasha Banks.
Yeah, well, an MVP. All right, so...
MVP didn't steal it. He created his own.
Fair enough. You're right. He's not a thief. He's just plain delusional. Got it. Okay. Clear distinction. Fair enough. All right. So this match wasn't bad, but it was mostly just a gimmick thing. The ninjas caused a lot of chaos and distraction in the ring and outside. The Hurt Business beat him up. And while that was going on, Akira hit a top rope senton on Truth.
That was a beautiful senton, by the way.
The
beautiful. So your new 24/7 champion is Akira Tozawa.
Yeah. And you know what? I would care if that title meant a damn thing.
Well, it's starting to mean more. I mean, look at the names.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Shelton Benjamin was a great champion.
That title exists to give R-Truth something to do on television because Vince McMahon likes watching him because he makes Vince McMahon laugh.
He makes us all laugh.
That's good shit, brother.
And then you got Shelton
He didn't know that guy's name. I didn't get the reference, but he called him the wrong name. That's good shit.
And Shelton Benjamin. So it was a title loss for all of the Hurt Business tonight, pretty much.
Yep. So
Wow.
yeah, they'll make their presence felt a little bit later on in the night. So next we get like a little quick flash of Shane McMahon, what he's up to. He's doing something called Raw Underground, or as I like to call it, Brawl for All 2. Or at least that's what I thought it was going to be. It looked like they were doing real fighting.
Fight Club.
Yeah, it's going to be WWE
Pretty much
Fight
Fight
Club. It's just going to be stiff. Like, like whenever two wrestlers get in the scrum or whatever, and they're just like rolling on the ground, punching each other, and then like the referees break them up. It's just that followed by a couple of stiff shots, and whoever you recognize in the ring beats up whatever nameless person they had beat up. So honestly, like for all those matches they did tonight, I have so-and-so beats up a chump. That's what I have in my notes for everything. Because that's kind of what it was. It was a cool look, but it was the wrestlers having to work in a ring without
ropes.
Yeah.
Which we saw.
We'll get on it later, but it almost got you were saying it almost had a Shotgun Saturday Night feel.
Old school TNA, NWA TNA at that.
Yeah, because they just had like the dancing girls in like the bikini outfits dancing around. I'm like, oh, shame, Bubba. It's, you know what year it is, right? I don't think we can get away with this. After commercial, we cut to Dom being interviewed backstage, and he challenges Seth Rollins to a match at SummerSlam. And it's kind of cool to see, him in his first official match. I just hope he comes out with a mask on. That's my only stipulation. I hope he comes out with a mask on.
I'm not sure because so far he hasn't had a mask on.
He hasn't had an official match either.
That's true.
This is the beginning of his career. He needs to don the mask.
I'm pretty sure, this is a very proud moment, actually. I mean, Eddie Guerrero has a wife in AEW and a son on Raw. That's pretty awesome.
Sasha versus Baszler was up next. Something we, previewed earlier when Baszler slapped the taste out of Sasha's mouth. Right in the kisser.
Right in the kisser. All right, so this is mostly Baszler, getting a whole bunch of offense in, showing that she's the true BMF right here. Now, Sasha, she gets a little offense in, but Baszler looks super strong in this.
This was made to look Baszler strong, but in order to keep Sasha from losing the match, we had Asuka come out and start whipping on Bayley's ass, which causes the DQ for some reason, or the no contest.
No contest? What? I don't get it.
It was a bullshit finish. You could have had Asuka come in there and hit Bayley and then hit Sasha, but I guess they didn't want Baszler being mad at Asuka because afterwards we go to an in-ring interview. I guess the BS scamper off. They interview Asuka in the ring, and she's like, my revenge is going to be sweet, and I want a shot at Sasha's title again at SummerSlam. So I guess we're gonna have that rematch at SummerSlam. I was gonna say, yeah. And Shayna's like, Asuka, I don't want to beat you up yet. I'm going to be rooting for you the whole way because you're the person I want to take the title off of. And I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah, I'm with it.
I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that. As long as you let her, Asuka look stronger than she does in a Bayley match, I'm cool with that. But honestly, like, I say I'm cool with that because those are the two I want to see fight because they're the best fighters and the most believable as dangerous people to me as far as the women's division right now goes. But I do want to see Baszler hurt Bayley and like hurt her bad. She's been so obnoxious, and I kind of want to see Baszler just hurt both of those women.
Which, I mean, I guess that's what both of those women are supposed to do is be obnoxious and all that good shit.
Yeah, they're playing great villains. I'm not demonizing them as human beings. I'm just saying, if this is what they want out of the writing, they got it out of me. I want them to be hurt. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. Just one Seth Rollins style eye gouging from Shayna Baszler. She went all Pitbull on fucking,
Like Becky Lynch.
Yeah, so,
like vampire and stuff. Like,
look,
bit her neck.
So as Asuka and Baszler talking, Sasha and Bayley come back out, and Sasha accepts Asuka's challenge if Asuka can beat Bayley next week.
I love that moment.
Sasha totally sold out Bayley for a match, but Asuka will face Bayley next week, which she'll win because we want the SummerSlam match, and then we'll get the rematch at SummerSlam.
Hey, but it's funny because Bayley kept doing the same thing to Sasha. Oh yeah, you want a match? You got it. Like what the fuck?
All right, so hour 3 coming on, and we get the first the Raw Underground thing, and it was who was it fighting?
It's a 7-footer by the name of Sabakota.
Right, but yeah, he beat up like 2 or 3 chumps, and it was, again, like we described, it was
very huge guy.
WWE Fight Club, low lighting, really gritty looking. It's an idea. We'll see how it pans out. Like, I guess if it kind of becomes their sort of like Lucha Underground, where people can go back, like the Hurt Business can, like they took it over at the end of the night. Sorry for the spoiler there. But like, they kind of make it their little CD club. That's their real MVP lounge. He sets up a little place where he does his little deals and shit. You start doing more cinematic crap. Yeah. I could dig on that. I could dig on WWE slowly morphing into more of a television show feel the way Lucha Underground does.
Yeah, I like it.
I do too.
I like Raw Underground.
I don't know if I like it yet. It was kind of just mid-carders beating up chumps, but we'll see how it goes. So after the Underground match, we go to, it's going to be the Street Profits and Angel and Andrade.
Two single matches. Garza goes up against Dawkins first.
Well, while they were first coming in, even I said something, Ford was looking at his cup like it tasted funny, and I think, Caden, what did you say it was?
It was Florida tap water.
Yeah, Florida tap water. That's probably what did it.
We go into Garza versus Dawkins, which they got serious. They got real serious. Like, Dawkins got some great offense in on Garza. Garza got a little bit of offense in. But at the end, of that match.
Weight class is a thing for a reason.
Yeah.
But halfway through the match, Dawkins is dominating, and Ford does his like Ultimate Warrior thing on the side, and then grabs his head and falls down.
I mean, he just blacked out, like fell out, man.
And Caden called it, man. After we spotted the drink, he's like, "Oh, his drink was drugged," and that's what we found out later in the night. Sure enough, it was. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Dawkins was distracted because of Ford's incident. It opened it up for Garza. Garza hit him with a mean super kick.
Mean super kick followed by a drop kick right to the head when he was on his knees. 1, 2, 3. That's the end of that. Now Ford, who's passed out on the side, has got to get up and get ready for his match with Andrade. Goes through it. It's mostly Andrade. It seemed like Ford started to get a little bit of a comeback. He hits a dive to the outside, gets back in. Ultimate Warrior's up a little bit. Then he's going to hit another dive and then just stumbles backward and passes out again. Ref just calls it there.
Yeah. Andrade wins by TKO.
So they cut backstage to Seth and Murphy. Murphy's watching a videotape of himself blinding Alistair, and Seth tells him, he did the right thing, not to think about it. It's all for the greater good. Usual Seth bullshit. We're gonna get more of them later. After this, we go to our next Raw Underground, and it was Eric from the Viking Raiders beating up some chump. It was cool. He flipped the guy and knocked him out with that knee kick that he does, like that little hip throw knee kick, which I always think should be a knockout blow anyway. So it was kind of cool to see it in a match where it was a knockout blow. Yeah. So I'm like, aces.
Hey, I'm cool with that, man.
Yeah. And honestly, like this feels like a better fit for them than the regular ring does. Like just being
on top of that, you don't see them eating shit.
don't see him losing a match. That's true. Of course, everyone losing tonight was just a no-name person. You know what I mean? It was like...
Yeah.
So after this, we go backstage. We're going to get an update on Ford's condition. Charlie's outside the trainer room, and Andrade, Angel, and Selena come up, and, they feign like they pretend to care. That's like, oh, but what's going to happen with the tag team, man? Blah, 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 blah. Dawkins comes out. Sorry, I'm dripping alcohol. It's how I like it. It's where I keep it. It's kind of like, it's like those little camel packs, so I can just, as I need it. All right, so Dawkins comes out. He looks pretty forlorn. He's like, they don't know they're not sure yet, but they think he was poisoned because Kane's a damn genius.
Like always.
Would you give me a reaction shot so I can slice something at that point? Thank you. You're fucking killing me, Smalls. Can you give me like one buddy Christ? That's all I ask for.
I can't do that with my hands.
Oh.
Shit. Then Bianca Belair comes up and it don't get pretty. It don't get pretty.
She does not mince words. She automatically accuses Selena of having poisoned her husband because she's like, you're the brains of this operation. I know the tag team title match is coming up. She's like, you got one chance to tell me the truth about this. Like, she get mad, and it's wonderful. Selena starts like, how dare you accuse me? And what? She didn't even listen. She just starts taking the earrings off. And we all know when the earrings come off,
some hood shit about to happen.
Earrings off, shit goes down. That's the equation. Like, you can see, if you go look at the technical diagram, and I want to put it up for you right here, you see black woman minus earrings equals shit's going off.
Well, don't forget the ponytail as well.
Ponytail as well.
Oh, once their hair is tied up, shit is going down. Sorry for the hand clap.
Her hair stays tied up.
Yeah, her hair's always in a braid, though.
Yeah, I know, right? That's because shit's always going down.
She used that thing as a weapon. I'm surprised she hasn't tied like little razor blades to the
Sorry
end
for
of
the
it.
hand clapping.
Like all Peaky Blinders style.
Natural reaction.
So after this, we get footage of the people sabotaging the feed earlier with the Molotov cocktails we talked about earlier, all fading into that story, the overall storyline of the technical issues, and it might be sabotaged. It was all done on purpose. And again, we'll see where it goes from here. So then the Hurt Business is backstage, and of course they blame the glitches and all this stuff for the losses tonight. Everyone's, Shelton lost and MVP lost. So they blame this, and then they try and draw, a line between, it's like, it's no wonder that this all stuff all started happening when Raw Underground started showing up, so they make their way to Raw Underground. So they're going to show up on that later. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. After that, we got Seth and Murphy out, and Seth's going to do his usual shtick, which actually I'm minding less and less now because he usually makes it he's starting to make it pretty interesting.
Yeah, he is.
He starts out by addressing Tom Phillips and getting in Phillips' face about, rooting on Dom instead of calling it down the middle like a true professional journalist should.
Yeah, and as they approach Tom, it's about to get ugly, but Joe steps up and interrupts.
Murphy goes after him, of course. Joe stands up between him, and Joe weighs more than Murphy and Seth combined.
And probably has more powerful punches than both of them combined.
Yeah, and Joe's just like, no, this ain't happening. And Joe he might cut the second best promo after Drew McIntyre still because he made it real for a second.
That's up for debate because I think Joe had the best one and Drew had the second best.
So Joe gets in the way of Murphy and Seth trying to do their thing and attack Tom Phillips. And Murphy and Seth bail to the ring, grab chairs, and you think Joe's taking the jacket off, and we're going to get into it. Go to commercial, come back. Joe's looking him down, and then Dom comes in from behind with a kendo stick and just starts wailing on Seth and wailing on Murphy, whipping their ass.
He had a chair, right?
No, he had a kendo stick. He was whipping their ass with the kendo stick.
Oh, okay. The chair came up later, right?
Well, no, Seth and Murphy had the chairs, and they were waiting on Samoa Joe, and they weren't looking. Dom jumped in from behind and started whipping their ass with the kendo. They bail out to the top of the ring, selling their injuries, and Seth accepts the match with Dom at SummerSlam. So we'll get that match at SummerSlam, which, again, hopefully he'll put a mask on.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, that's what I want out of it. I want to see him, if it'd be cool if his dad's like, hey, Seth, I'll let you retire me, but give my son his first major victory. You know what I mean? Let it be a nice little cycle here. I'll retire the mask. We'll give him, and he'll get his first major victory over you after the man who retired me. And it'll be a nice little story.
Not much wrestling in this show.
Not much booze left in my fucking box either.
Oh, shit.
After Seth accepts Dom's challenge, we go to our third underground match, and that's the Dolph Ziggles is just beating somebody's ass and chokes him out.
Yeah, showing those wrestling abilities that got him the All-American.
Yeah, man, he was showing off some of his wrestling skills and stuff too. He got the guy's back, put him in the rear naked choke, and tapped him out pretty quickly. Dolph looked all right, but during this, the Hurt Business shows up, and MVP grabs the mic and says they're taking over. They are now in charge of Underground, and Bobby beats up some chump.
They all showed off their skills, like from their past combat sports.
Well, they just all took turns beating up chumps. Bobby beat somebody up first, and MVP beat up they picked on some tiny ass guy and beat him up. And then Benjamin beat up some dude with dreadlocks who looked like the lead singer from Living Color. And then Cult of Personality.
I thought you was going to say Milli Vanilli.
No.
Not even going to lie.
Oh, damn. I didn't even think about Milli Vanilli. Fuck. But then again, who thinks about Milli Vanilli these days? All right. Yeah, it was a nice way to kind of close it out, to give the Hurt Business a little bit of heat back since they kind of lost both their matches tonight. But they, kind of set up shop there. And after they get done, after they each beat a chump up in the ring, they're like, who else wants some? They just go to the ringside and just start beating up on the whole audience. And they're just standing tall at the end of the night in the ring. And Shane McMahon tries to do his best. Be like, yeah, you guys are welcome back anytime. Dips it and runs. Like, no,
I'm going to let them have it.
Yeah. I'm like, I think you're done here, Shane.
Good.
But all in all, again, like you said, it was kind of a transitional night. We got a lot of storylines. They kind of started, either started or continue to progress, and we'll see how they go. The only real payoff I felt like we got tonight was the Riot Squad rejoining and beating up the Iconics.
I was just about to say that.
That's kind of the only payoff tonight. Everything else was just continue to build, which is not a bad thing. We need these shows. Yeah. So good night. We'll see how it goes from here.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, not much wrestling. I mean, it was kind of but it was an episode we needed. It was like, it's not one that we cared to watch, but it was something that we needed to see to continue the storylines.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. I don't dislike it. But anyway. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you guys this Friday for SmackDown. We should have a couple of videos coming out to you. A couple more shows we're going to be doing starting next week. So look forward to more content. And we hope that you guys will, enjoy. I hope you guys are enjoying this journey as we progress and as we go along, man. We're really having fun doing this. So again, thanks for joining us, y'all.
Yeah, please like, subscribe, comment. Hey, we like to hear from you. But
mostly, send us your firstborn. We need the blood of the pure to keep Caden young. He is not really human. He's a 3,000-year-old immortal being who acquires the flesh of virgins and the young. I don't know what's in my drink. All right, night, y'all.